I do want to say that Dr. Bone mentioned that she and I have been touring campuses. It's actually been about a month we've been doing that. We've been meeting so many people and talking to EAs on campuses, talking to them in our meetings here recently. I want to echo Trustee Harrison's appreciation, because government belongs to those who show up. And when you speak up, you have a higher likelihood of being heard than otherwise. And I do want to also thank Dr. Bone, because I believe it was you in our board meeting last week that when we were told that this issue of addressing EA pay needed to wait until the next school year, you really pushed back on that and you really challenged that. And I think it should be a reminder to all of us about why we ran and why we're on these seats, is to challenge the status quo. So thank you for your leadership. I will tell you that obviously I'm going to vote for this amendment to EA pay, but I'm really struggling because this isn't even almost enough. I mean, I'm almost uncomfortable voting for it. I almost wonder if I should vote against it to send a message to come back and do better. I mean, I'm really conflicted. It's tactical. It's not strategic. It's short-term. It's not. I don't think it's a long-term solution. I believe it's more of a token than innovation. I don't see any innovation here. I don't see any reform here. I think what reform, I'm not going to get in the weeds here because I'm a trustee, I'm not an employee. But in the feedback I get in the EA community, why do we not have an EA4 SPED? And that comes up. I think there are some targeted changes that should be really meaningful. I still don't know that I could leave this meeting today and articulate how an EA can get to the midpoint or the maximum. Can you guys? If you can, please tell me. Because again, that's why I'm really struggling on voting for this versus rejecting it and asking for better. So I've decided I'll vote for this, but it's not strategic, it's not innovative, and I still can't answer the question about, to an EA, how you get to the midpoint or the maximum. And to that end, I guess what I'd like to understand from the administration is where, this money would come from. We're doing a lot of talking. I mean, I think, if we could do a 10% increase, I think we would all stamp that. But then we're held accountable to, financial statements that our names are on. So I would really like from the administration to know where this money is going to come from. And maybe, the place to start there is every June we approve a budget. How much did we budget in a budget that was approved in June of 2019 for salaries? And then how much did we spend? Same thing for 2020. How much did we budget for salaries? And then how much did we spend? Because, I'm a lot of things, but a financial wizard is not one of them. So I can look at financial documents all day long, but my guess is there's a delta there. And I think it's important for us and for the community to know what that delta is. I understand we may not have that tonight. I also want to add that I can't imagine that in the year 2020 in Central Texas that we have any job where we pay less than $15 an hour. I mean, that's hard for me to even get my head around. So it would be a goal of mine to not do that. I think that we can do better. We had a speaker talk tonight about ESSER funds. I think there's a lack of clarity in our community about how much ESSER money has come to Round Rock ISD and where it has gone. So again, my charge to the administration, if the board, if I have the will of the board behind this, is to just try to communicate. And I don't think that's because anybody's hiding anything. I think everybody's very busy. And we make decisions and we allocate resources. But I think it would go a long way in community relations to communicate where that ESSER money has gone.